The blood on the clinic floor wasn't from a major wound, but it was fresh. Naya Cole Park knelt beside the young woman who'd stumbled through the door 3 minutes ago, hands shaking as she applied pressure to a split lip and checked for other injuries. The woman couldn't be older than 23. Her eyes darted to the door every few seconds, terrified, like a hunted animal. "You're safe here," Naya said softly, the words automatic now. She'd said them to dozens of patients over the past year, since opening the community clinic. But this time felt different. This time, the terror in the woman's eyes was a mirror Naya recognized too well. "I'm Kira," the woman whispered, wincing as Naya cleaned the cut. "I don't have insurance. I can't pay. I needed somewhere he wouldn't find me." Naya's hands paused for half a second. That single word carried the weight of 1,000 nightmares. She knew that fear. She'd lived it. 2 years ago, she'd been running from a he too, desperate enough to grab a stranger in a parking lot and beg for help. "Don't worry about payment," Naya said, forcing her voice steady. "Tell me what happened." Kira's eyes filled with tears. "My boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. He said if I left, he'd find me. He knows people. Powerful people. He said he can get to me anywhere." Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. "He said he knows someone who works with really connected people. That no one can hide from him." The clinic suddenly felt too cold. Too quiet. Naya's professional composure cracked slightly. "What's his name?" Kira pulled out her phone with trembling hands. Showed Naya a photo. The face on the screen made Naya's blood stop moving in her veins. Brent Hale. The same calculating smile. The same cold eyes. The same man who'd cornered her in a hospital parking lot. Who'd tried to destroy her career. Who'd promised she could never escape him. The man her husband June had made disappear from her life. Until now. "Do you know him?" Kira asked, seeing Naya's face go pale. Naya stood abruptly, her medical training the only thing keeping her hands from shaking. "Stay here. Lock the door after I leave this room. Don't open it for anyone except me." She pulled out her phone, scrolling to a contact she never thought she'd need to call and panic again. June's name glowed on the screen. Her thumb hovered over it for only a second before pressing call. He answered on the first ring. "Naya, he's back," she whispered. Just 2 words. But June would understand. He always understood. The silence on the other end lasted 3 seconds. When June spoke again, his voice had shifted into something harder. Colder. The protective edge she'd first heard in that parking lot 2 years ago. "I'm 10 minutes away. Don't leave the clinic. Lock everything. June, it's not just him. There's a girl here. She's running from him. She's pregnant. She has nowhere to go." Naya's voice cracked slightly. "I can't turn her away." Another pause. Then, "I know you can't. That's not who you are. But Naya, if Brent's back, if he's been watching you." The unspoken threat hung in the air between them. Their home. Their son. Their life. Everything they'd built. "I know," Naya said quietly. "I know what this means." 8 minutes, June said. "I'm bringing security. Don't open that door for anyone." The call ended. Naya stood in her clinic office, surrounded by the medical licenses and family photos on the wall. Her and June on their wedding day, Eli grinning with his science fair trophy, her mother healthy and smiling at the clinic's opening. A year ago, she'd thought they were finally safe, that the nightmare was over. She'd been wrong. And this time, it wasn't just her own life on the line. Naya returned to the examination room, where Kira sat huddled on the medical table, arms wrapped around her middle protectively. The girl looked so young, so broken, and Naya felt something twist in her chest. She'd been exactly where Kira was now. Terrified. Alone. Believing there was no way out. "Kira, I need you to listen to me very carefully," Naya said, pulling up a chair and taking the girl's cold hands in hers. "I know Brent. I know what he's capable of. And I promise you, you're not going through this alone." Kira's eyes widened. "You know him?" "How?" "He was my ex-boyfriend too. 2 years ago, he stalked me, threatened me, tried to destroy my life when I left him." Naya's voice was steady despite the memories flooding back. "I got away. And you will too." "How?" Kira's voice broke. "He said he knows people. He said if I run, he'll find me. He already found me twice. I've been hiding for 3 months, and he always," she dissolved into tears. The clinic door chimed. Naya heard footsteps, multiple sets, moving quickly but controlled. Then June's voice, quiet but commanding, speaking to someone. Her mother's voice responded, followed by the sound of locks clicking into place. June appeared in the doorway of the examination room, and Naya felt that same rush of safety she'd felt the night they met. He was dressed in a dark suit, clearly having come straight from a business meeting, but his eyes were scanning the room with the sharp assessment of someone trained to identify threats. Two men in security uniforms stood in the hallway behind him. His gaze landed on Naya first, checking her for injuries with a single sweep, then moved to Kira. His expression softened slightly when he saw how terrified the girl was. "This is my husband, June," Naya said to Kira. "He's going to help us." Kira shrank back slightly, and Naya recognized that reaction too. Powerful men meant danger in her world. June seemed to recognize it as well, because he stayed in the doorway, not approaching, making himself less threatening. "Kira, is it?" June asked, his voice gentle in a way most people never heard from him. "Naya told me you're running from Brent Hale. I want you to know that you're under my protection now. He won't touch you." "You don't understand," Kira whispered. "He's connected. He knows people in the police. He has friends who—" "I know exactly who he knows," June interrupted quietly. "And I'm more connected than he is. Trust me." Naya stood and crossed to June, lowering her voice. "We need to take her somewhere safe. She's pregnant. She has nowhere to go." June nodded, already pulling out his phone. "I'm calling Marcel. Full security detail. We'll take her to the estate." His eyes met Naya's, and she saw the question there. "Are you okay?" She nodded, but they both knew it was a lie. Seeing Brent's face again, even just in a photo, had ripped open wounds she'd thought were healed. June's hand found hers, squeezing gently. "We'll handle this. Together." 20 minutes later, they were in June's car, Kira in the back seat wrapped in one of Naya's cardigans, still trembling. The security team followed in a separate vehicle. Naya had called her mother, told her to close the clinic early and stay with a friend tonight, just as a precaution. Her mother had asked no questions, just said she'd pray for them. "Where are we going?" Kira asked nervously as they drove through the upscale neighborhood. "Our home," Naya said, turning in her seat to look at the girl. "You'll stay with us until we figure out the next steps. We have security, guest rooms, everything you need. I can't impose like that. I don't even know you." "You don't have to know us," June said from the driver's seat. "You just have to let us help you." That's all Naya asked of me 2 years ago. One moment of trust. It changed both our lives. They pulled through the iron gates of the estate, and Kira's eyes widened at the size of the house. Naya saw her own first reaction reflected in the girl's face. Intimidation mixed with disbelief that this kind of safety existed in the world. The front door opened before they reached it. Eli stood there, backpack still on from school, his 8-year-old face creased with worry. He'd inherited June's sharp instincts. He knew something was wrong. "Mom," he said, looking at Naya, "Dad texted me to come straight home and stay inside." "What's happening?" Naya's heart squeezed. "Mom." He'd started calling her that 6 months ago, tentatively at first, then with more confidence. It still made her want to cry every time. "We'll explain inside, buddy," June said, resting a hand on his son's shoulder. "Right now, we need you to help us make our guests feel welcome." Eli's eyes landed on Kira, taking in her split lip and frightened expression with a maturity beyond his years. He'd grown up around pain and loss. He understood. "I'm Eli," he said to Kira, his voice gentle. "You can have the room next to mine. It has the best view of the garden." Kira looked at this small boy offering her kindness and burst into tears. That evening, after Kira was settled in the guest room and Eli was supposedly doing homework, Naya and June stood in their bedroom, finally alone. Naya sat on the edge of the bed, and the adrenaline that had kept her moving finally crashed. Her hands started shaking. June knelt in front of her, taking her hands in his. "Talk to me." "I thought it was over," Naya whispered. "I thought we were safe. That Eli was safe. That we could just live, build our life, help people at the clinic without." She couldn't finish. "Without your past showing up demanding payment." June finished for her. "I know. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing?" This isn't your fault. Isn't it? June's jaw tightened. 2 years ago, I made Brent back off. I used my connections, my resources, my reputation to make him disappear from your life. But I didn't eliminate the threat. I just pushed it underground. I should have. You should have what? Killed him. Naya pulled her hands free, cupping his face. No, you did exactly what I needed. You gave me space to heal, to build a life, to become someone who could help others. That's not nothing, June. That's everything. He leaned into her touch, closing his eyes. I won't let him hurt you again. Or Kira. Or anyone in this house. I know. But June. Naya's voice dropped. What if helping her puts Eli at risk? What if Brent comes here? What if he won't get through the gates? I've already tripled security. Marcel is running background on Brent's current associates, his location, his movements. We'll know if he gets within 5 miles of this house. June opened his eyes, and they were hard as stone. And if he tries anything, I won't be as merciful as I was 2 years ago. There was a knock on the door. Eli's voice came through quietly. Mom? Dad? Can I come in? Naya and June exchange a look. They've been trying to keep their son out of this, to protect him from the ugliness. But Eli was smart. Already figured out something was very wrong. Come in, son, June called. Eli entered, closing the door behind him. He still wore his school uniform, but his face looked older, more serious than an 8-year-old should have to be. Is the lady downstairs running from someone bad? He asked directly. No pretense. No games. June gestured for him to sit on the bed. Yes. Is it the same person who hurt Mom before? Before you saved her? Naya's breath caught. They'd told Eli an age-appropriate version of how they met, that Naya had needed help and June had been there. But they'd never gone into details about Brent, about the stalking, about the danger. How did you know about that? Naya asked gently. Eli looked down at his hands. I heard you and Grandma talking once. About the parking lot. About the man who scared you. I didn't understand everything, but I understood enough. He looked up at them, and his eyes were suspiciously bright. Is he going to try to take you away? Like my birth mom got taken away. Naya's heart shattered. She pulled Eli in her arms, holding him tight. No, baby. No, I'm not going anywhere. I promise. But you can't promise that, Eli said into her shoulder, his voice muffled and scared. Nobody can promise that. Death and bad people and accidents happen, and people leave, and I can't. He was crying now, the carefully constructed 8-year-old bravado crumbling. I can't lose another mom. I can't. June moved to sit beside them, wrapping his arms around both of them. Eli, look at me. He waited until his son lifted his tear-streaked face. Your birth mom didn't leave because she wanted to. She fought to stay with you as long as she could. And Naya isn't going anywhere because she chooses to stay. Every single day, she chooses us, chooses you, and I will do everything in my power to make sure she's safe. Do you understand? But what if your power isn't enough? Eli whispered the fear that lived in every child who'd lost a parent. Naya pulled back to look at him, wiping his tears with her thumbs. Then we deal with it together, as a family. But Eli, I need you to hear me. I am not leaving you. Not by choice, not because of some bad man from my past, not for anything. You're my son. This is my home, and I will fight to stay here. Eli nodded, still sniffling. Can I help? Protect Kira, and you, and everyone. June's expression softened. You can help by being exactly who you are. By showing Kira that safe families exist. By being brave, even when you're scared. That's the most important job. Okay, Eli said, wiping his face. I could do that. After Eli went to bed, Naya checked on Kira. The girl was sitting by the window of the guest room, staring out at the garden lit by security lights. Can't sleep? Naya asked from the doorway. Kira shook her head. Every time I close my eyes, I see him. And I keep thinking this is all a dream. That I'll wake up and still be hiding in that motel room, waiting for him to find me again. Naya came in and sat in the chair across from her. It's not a dream. You're really safe. I know it doesn't feel that way yet. It took me months to believe it. How did you do it? Stop being afraid. I didn't. Not completely. I just learned to be afraid and live anyway. To build a life even when part of me was waiting for it all to fall apart. Naya smiled sadly. And I had help. June, my mother, eventually Eli. People who refuse to let me disappear into my fear. Kira's hand moved to her stomach, the small bump barely visible under her oversized shirt. I'm 4 months along. I found out 2 weeks after I finally left him. I thought about. She couldn't finish the sentence. But you didn't, Naya said softly. No, because this baby didn't ask for any of this. Doesn't deserve to pay for my mistakes. Kira's voice broke. I just want to give them a better life than I had, than their father could give. Then that's what we'll do. Together. Kira looked at her with desperate hope. Why are you helping me? You don't know me. I'm nobody. You're somebody who asked for help. That's all you need to be. Naya stood. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll figure out the next steps. Legal protection, medical care, everything you need. The next morning, June's security chief Marcel arrived with a full report. They gathered in June's office, Naya, June, Marcel, and 2 lawyers from June's legal team. Kira sat in the corner, looking overwhelmed by the level of resources being mobilized on her behalf. Brent Hale has been living in the same area for the past 18 months, Marcel reported, pulling up information on a tablet. He's employed at a car dealership, clean record on paper. But we've identified a pattern of harassment charges that were dropped 3 different women over the past year. He's escalating. Where is he now? June asked, his voice cold. Unknown. He didn't show up for work yesterday or today. His apartment is empty. We have people watching it, but Marcel looked uncomfortable. He knows Kira's here, or suspects it. Ow! Naya asked sharply. Security footage from the clinic. He was watching the building yesterday. Saw Kira go in, saw our team arrive, saw us leave with her. Marcel pulled up grainy footage showing a man in a baseball cap and sunglasses standing across the street. This was taken at 5:47 p.m., 30 minutes after you left with Kira. Naya's blood ran cold. He was there, watching, the whole time. We've increased security on the clinic, on this residence, and on your mother's location, Marcel continued. But Mrs. Park, you need to understand, if Brent tries to approach you or Kira, we could detain him, but without proof of a direct threat, we can't hold him. One of the lawyers leaned forward. However, Kira can file for a restraining order. With her testimony and the evidence of harassment, we can get emergency protection. Kira spoke up for the first time, her voice small. A restraining order didn't stop him before. It just made him angrier. This is different, the lawyer assured her. We're documenting everything. And Mr. Park's resources mean you'll have protection that order enforcement can't provide. June's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his expression went ice cold. He just sent me a message. Everyone went still. June turned the phone screen around. The message was simple. You took something from me. Now I want something from you. Attached was a photo. It was taken yesterday, showing Eli walking out of his school with his backpack, completely unaware of the camera. Naya's vision tunneled. The room tilted. She heard June's voice, sharp and commanding, issuing orders. Marcel on his phone immediately. The lawyers talking about police, about evidence, about threats. But all Naya could see was that photo. Her son, their son, in Brent's crosshairs. Get Eli, she heard herself say. Get him right now. He's safe at school, Marcel said. We have 2 agents there already, and I just dispatched 3 more. I don't care. Get him. Bring him home. Now. Naya was on her feet, shaking. He doesn't get to threaten my child. He doesn't get to use Eli as leverage. Get him home now. June was already moving. I'll get him myself. Marcel, lockdown protocol. Nobody in or out of this property. Full perimeter sweep. Lawyers, I need options for a police report that will actually do something. He stopped in front of Naya, taking her face in his hands. I'm bringing our son home. He's safe. Do you believe me? Naya wanted to scream that she didn't know what she believed anymore, that the monster from her past had just threatened their child, that everything they'd built was crumbling. But she looked into June's eyes and saw absolute certainty. Not false promises, just unwavering determination. I believe you, she whispered. He kissed her forehead and left. Kira was crying quietly in the corner. I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I brought this to your family. I should leave. Maybe if I go, he'll... No, Naya said firmly, pulling herself together. This is not your fault. This is Brent's fault. And you're not going anywhere. We don't abandon people who need help. That's not who we are. Marcel was barking orders into his phone, coordinating the security response. The lawyers were documenting everything, building a case. And Naya stood in the center of it all, realizing something fundamental had shifted. 2 years ago, she'd been the victim, the one who needed saving, the one who ran and hid and hoped someone stronger would protect her. But she wasn't that person anymore. She'd built a life, a family, a purpose. She'd chosen to help Kira, not because she was weak, but because she was strong enough to extend the same hand she'd once needed. And if Brent thought he could destroy that by threatening her child, he was about to learn exactly how fierce a mother could be. Marcel, Naya said, her voice steady now. What do we need to put Brent away permanently? Not just scare him off, not just make him back down. Actually put him where he can't hurt anyone again. Marcel looked at her with new respect. Evidence of direct threats, testimony from multiple victims, proof of stalking and harassment. With what we have now, maybe 18 months if we're lucky. If Kira testifies and we can get the other women to come forward, maybe 3 to 5 years. That's not enough, Naya said. Not nearly enough. One of the lawyers cleared his throat. There may be another angle. If we can prove he's violated the restraining order from 2 years ago, that adds time. If we can connect him to any of his employer's illegal activities, and I suspect there are some, that adds more. Then find it, Naya said. All of it. Whatever it takes to make sure he never walks free to threaten another woman again. 30 minutes later, June returned with Eli. The boy was confused but unharmed, holding his father's hand tightly. When he saw Naya, he ran to her, and she scooped him up even though he was getting too big to carry easily. Mom, what's happening? Dad said there was a security situation. Everything's okay. Naya lied, then corrected herself. She wouldn't lie to her son. Actually, there's someone bad who's trying to scare us. But we're safe here, and we're handling it. Okay. Eli, no seriously. Is it because of Kira? Because we're helping her? Partially. But it's also because sometimes bad people don't like it when you stand up to them. They want you to be afraid, to back down. But we're not going to do that. Good, Eli said firmly. Kira needs help. Like he needed help. And my birth mom needed help. Someone has to be brave. Naya hugged him tighter, over his head, meeting June's eyes. Her husband looked absolutely furious, but controlled. Dangerous. This was the side of him most people never saw, the side that had built an empire by being smarter and more ruthless than everyone else. Eli, June said quietly, I need you to do something very important for me. For the next few days, you're going to have some new friends. Security guards. They're going to be with you everywhere, school, home, everywhere. I need you to do exactly what they say when they say it. Can you do that? Like bodyguards? Eli's eyes widened slightly. Am I in danger? No, June said firmly. Because you're going to have bodyguards. They're insurance, that's all. To make sure you're safe while we handle this problem. Eli seemed to accept this. At 8, he was already pragmatic about security. He'd grown up in a household where safety protocols were normal. That afternoon, while Eli did homework under the watchful eye of 2 security guards and Kira rested upstairs, Naya and June stood in the garden. Away from everyone. Just the 2 of them. I want to confront him, Naya said quietly. Absolutely not. June. No. His voice was steel. That's what he wants. To draw you out. To get you alone. To hurt you. I won't allow it. You won't allow it? Naya raised an eyebrow. I'm not asking permission. I'm telling you what I need to do. He's using my fear, my past trauma against me. Against us. And the only way to take that power back is to face him. It's not power, it's suicide. Naya, I understand you want to feel in control, but walking into danger is what you did for me, Naya interrupted. 2 years ago, you didn't know me. You had every reason to walk away, but you step into my danger anyway, because it was the right thing to do. That's different. How? Because you're the man? Because you're the protector, and I'm supposed to be protected? Naya stepped closer to him. I love you. I love that you want to keep me safe. But I can't live in a cage, even a golden one. I won't teach our son that running and hiding is the answer. I need to face this. June's jaw worked. Together then. If you confront him, I'm there. No negociable. Together, Naya agreed. Marcel approached across the garden, phone in hand. We've located him. He's at an abandoned warehouse on the east side. Sent another message saying he wants to talk. Just you, Mr. Park. Set it up, June said. But tell him we're both coming. If he has a problem with that, he can contact his lawyer. June, that's not safe. I don't care, June said flatly. He threatened my son. He threatened my wife. He's terrorizing a pregnant woman. Safe ended when he sent that photo. Now we end this. 2 hours later, they pulled up to the warehouse. Marcel and his team had swept it, confirmed Brent was alone, and set up a perimeter. June had insisted on wearing a recording device. Everything Brent said would be documented. They walked in together, Naya's hand in June's. And there he was, Brent Hale, looking almost exactly as Naya remembered. Maybe a little older, a little harder, but the same cold calculation in his eyes. Well, Brent said, smiling that smile Naya used to think was charming. The happy couple. How domestic. You wanted to talk, June said coldly. Talk. I want what's mine. Kira. In compensation for the trouble you've caused me. Brent's smile widened. Let's say $2 million in Kira, and I disappear. You never hear from me again. You're blackmailing us? Naya found her voice, and it was steadier than she expected. For what? Your ex-girlfriend you've been terrorizing. Terrorizing is such a harsh word. I prefer maintaining a relationship. And it's not blackmail. It's negotiation. You have something I want. I have the ability to make your lives very uncomfortable. We're just finding middle ground. There's no middle ground, Naya said. Kira's not going back to you. Ever. And you're not getting a single dollar. Brent's smile faded. You always were stubborn. Stupid, but stubborn. You think hiding behind your rich husband makes you untouchable? I can get to you, Naya. I can get to that clinic of yours. I can get to your mother. I can get to that little boy you're playing mommy to. June moved so fast Naya barely saw it. 1 second he was beside her, the next he had Brent against the wall, forearm across his throat. Let me be very clear, June said, his voice deadly quiet. You will never threaten my family again. You will never speak their names. You will never look at another photograph of them. Because if you do, I won't call the police. I won't file reports. I will make you disappear in ways that terrify you more than anything you've ever done to any woman. You can't threaten me, Brent choked out. There are laws. I don't care about laws. I care about my family. And you just crossed a line that there's no coming back from. June released him, stepping back. You have 2 choices. You turn yourself into the police for stalking, harassment, and blackmail. Or I use every resource I have to destroy you. Your job, your reputation, your freedom. I will find every illegal thing you've ever done, every woman you've hurt, every rule you've broken, and I will bury you under it. Brent straightened his shirt, trying to regain his composure. You can't prove anything. Naya held up her phone. Actually, we can. This entire conversation has been recorded. You just confessed to blackmail, made direct threats against a minor, and admitted to stalking. That's enough for the police. She'd been terrified walking in here. Terrified of seeing him again, of hearing his voice, of being in the same room as her nightmare. But standing here now, with June beside her and the truth on her side, she realized something. Brent was smaller than she remembered. Not physically, but the fear he'd represented had shrunk. He was just a man, a cruel, pathetic man who hurt people weaker than himself. And she wasn't weak anymore. You destroyed my life once, Naya said quietly. Or you tried to, but I rebuilt it into something better than you could ever touch. I have a husband who chose me, a son who loves me, work that matters, a family that's real. What do you have, Brent? Women who run from you? Jobs you lose? A life so empty you have to terrorize people to feel powerful. Shut up. No, you shut up. And you listen. Naya stepped forward, and Brent actually backed up. I'm done being afraid of you. Kira is done being afraid of you. And you're done hurting people. The police are outside. You can walk out and confess, or they can drag you out in handcuffs. Your choice. Brent looked between them, seeing the truth. He lost. Whatever power he'd thought he had over Naya, over Kira, over any of them, it was gone. This isn't over, he said, but it sounded hollow. Yes, it is, June said simply. Marcel and two uniformed police officers entered. They'd heard everything through the recording devices. Brent was read his rights, handcuffed, and led away. He kept looking back at Naya, trying to find some remnant of the fear he'd once cultivated in her. He found nothing. When they got home, Kira was waiting in the living room, sitting with Eli, who was showing her his science project. The girl looked up, terrified and hopeful. He's arrested, Naya said, and we have enough evidence to keep him away for a long time. You're safe. Kira burst into tears, and Eli immediately hugged her. It's okay. My family protects people. That's what we do. 3 months later, Naya stood in the clinic that had been closed during the investigation, but was now reopening with expanded services. Kira worked at the front desk, 6 months pregnant and glowing. Brent had been sentenced to 5 years, with additional charges pending from 3 other women who'd come forward. He wouldn't be hurting anyone for a long time. June arrived at lunch, as he did most days, with food from Naya's favorite place. Eli was at school, thriving with his security detail that he'd befriended and turned into his personal audience for science facts. I have news, June said as they ate in her office. Marcel tracked down 2 more of Brent's victims. They're willing to testify. It could add another 3 years to his sentence. Good, Naya said. The more women who speak up, the less power he has. June studied her. You're different. Since the confrontation. Lighter somehow. I feel lighter. Like I put down a weight I didn't know I was carrying. Naya smiled. I spent 2 years being grateful you saved me. And you did. But I think I needed to save myself too. Or at least stand up and prove I wasn't that scared girl anymore. You were never just a scared girl. You were always strong. You just needed time to remember it. There was a knock on the door. A young woman stood there, maybe 19, bruised and scared. I heard you help people here. People who are running from bad situations. I need help. Naya and June exchanged a look. Here was again. Another person needing safety. Another chance to be what June had been for her. Come in, Naya said, standing. You're in the right place. As the girl entered and Naya began the familiar process of offering safety, she caught June's eye. He was smiling, proud and certain. This was who they were now. Not just survivors, but people who turned their survival into purpose. I'll make some calls, June said quietly, already pulling out his phone to mobilize resources. I'll call Kira. See if we have another room at the house, Naya added. They'd become a machine for this. A network of safety that started with one desperate woman grabbing a stranger in a parking lot and saying, please, help me. And now that safety rippled outward, touching more lives, saving more people, building something bigger than just their own happiness. That night, Eli asked at dinner, is the new lady going to stay with us too? For a while, Naya confirmed. Just until she's safe. Good, Eli said, completely unfazed. We have room, and everyone should be safe. Naya reached across the table and took his hand, then June's. Her family, built not from blood or obligation, but from choice. From showing up. From refusing to turn away when someone asked for help. Everyone should be safe, she agreed. And we'll do our part to make sure they are. Later, after Eli was in bed and their newest guest was settled in another room, Naya and June stood on their bedroom balcony looking out at the garden lit by security lights. Do you ever regret it? Naya asked. That night in the parking lot. Saying yes to a stranger who pulled you into her mess. June pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Every day, she stiffened, and he laughed quietly against her ear. I regret that I almost didn't stop. I almost kept walking to my car. I almost missed you. He turned her to face him. I regret every second of my life before I met you, because it was empty and I didn't even know it. You didn't pull me into your mess, Naya. You saved me right back. She kissed him then, this man who'd become her home, her safety, her partner in building something that mattered. And somewhere in the house, 2 women slept peacefully who wouldn't have had that without them. 2 women who were finding their own strength, their own path forward. We should probably expect this to keep happening, Naya said. People finding us. Needing help. Probably, June agreed. Is that a problem? Naya thought about it. Thought about the clinic downstairs, the guest rooms upstairs, the life they'd built that had room for more than just themselves. Thought about Eli learning that home was where you made space for people who needed it. No, she said finally. It's not a problem. It's a purpose. And in the morning, they'd wake up and do it all again. Protect people. Build safety. Show up for those who had nowhere else to go. Because someone had once done that for them, and now it was their turn to be that person for others. The parking lot had been the beginning. But this endless reaching out, this choosing to help, this building of home that expanded to hold whoever needed it, this was the life they'd built from that single moment of courage. And it was only getting started. If you love this story, hit that subscribe button right now. Part 3 drops soon, and you do not want to miss what happens next. Someone new walks into that clinic, and everything Naya and June have built is about to be tested in ways they never imagined. Comment below. Should they keep taking in people who need help, or are they putting their family at too much risk? And smash that like button if you believe in found family and second chances. I'll see you in part 3. Until then, remember, sometimes asking a stranger for help is the bravest thing you can do.